You need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. We need more dogs.
Let's get to the Falcons now.
Dirty Birds.
Dirty Birds. Are the Dirty Birds back, Jay?
I never know with this team.
I don't either. I look at this roster and I see a lot of the pitfalls of a typical Ryan Pace roster, which I learned pretty well as a Bears fan. So like I am pretty cautious looking at them.
All right. So you look at this team and you want to just talk about a team where you can just name dudes. I mean, between
Ryan Newsel,
Bergeron, Lindstrom. No, but yeah, I mean, you have the Bijan Robinsons, you have the Drake Londons, Kyle Pitts, even Darnell Mooney's not a bad wide receiver too. Jessie Bates there at safety. They brought in Leonard Floyd, and then they take two of the better pass rushers in the draft in the first round, Jalen Walker and James Pierce. I mean, James Pierce might have been the most talented edge rusher in the draft, but can he put it all together? Can he figure it out? Well, I don't know. We'll see. To be determined. I mean, a lot of questions there, but just seems like a very talented team. But then Michael Penix, I mean, I don't know if he showed me enough last year to where if I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan coming into this season, I'm super confident he's going to go out there and sling it. And I mean, what do you expect out of a year two quarterback? I'm not sure, but what do you expect out of a year two quarterback that's already his age? I mean, you're hoping we can get into the high 20s on touchdown throws, keep the interceptions low, throw for about 4,000 yards. I mean, it's kind of what you need out of this guy right now with this roster. Can he get there?
Watching a few games from Penix last week, I actually came away more impressed than I thought I would be. I thought that his arm talent really shows through at the NFL, and it's like I think something that I forget sometimes when watching college quarterbacks, college tape, is that the throws are wider. Their horizontal distance on their throws does make a difference. And you can really see the ball pop out of Penix's hand, and he really catches your attention on some of this stuff.
Yeah, you just have to flip the camera so it doesn't look like witchcraft.
Yeah, right. And like I think Penix he's going to avoid negative plays. Like if this team can run the football, they're going to score points because he's going to avoid the negatives in the pass game and hit all the layups.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that he's going to do a lot more than that, but he's going to do that.
They need Bijan to be the guy they drafted him to be. That's for sure. And
hey, some people will argue with you that he was last year. He was the guy they drafted him to be.
Yeah.
I mean, he put up plenty of volume numbers, like, and his efficiency was good in that volume.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like every time I watched an Atlanta game, it just left me wanting more.
Almost 1,900 yards from scrimmage and 15 touchdowns last year. Like, I'm not saying that I disagree with you. I'm just saying, like, from a pure numbers standpoint, when you look at it, it's really hard to argue that he didn't do that, you know?
Yeah. Is this the year we finally get a Kyle Pitts breakout? I don't know.
Like I said earlier, I go try to find plays for these guys that I can throw in these videos when we cut them up later. And, like, watching Kyle Pitts highlights will always sell anybody. Like, his best plays are like, holy shit, this guy is a monster. But then it just doesn't work out. And like, there's something I heard about him potentially, you know, the injury he had, I think it was as a rookie or his second year. He's never fully like gotten the same burst back from, which that I can buy that to a degree. That might be why he's never really lived up to his draft slot. I don't know though, because his highlight plays are still so good that I struggle to buy that, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but if there ever is a Kyle Pitts breakout year, it's this year.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, Michael Penix likes tight ends.
Contract year.
Oh, yeah. That too. And then I mean, you look at the talent on this team. I mean, we didn't really talk about Ray McLeod in the slot. I mean, he's a solid as third option as you can really get in the NFL right now.
Super underrated player.
And then
he had like some of his plays are like wildly fun.
Yeah, and so it's like I don't understand how you can't get this guy the ball with Drake London and Darnell Mooney and Ray McLeod with the threat of Bijan Robinson and even Tyler Algier isn't a bad option there. A tight end in that situation should be able to feast.
You know who on this roster I think I'm buying into with Michael Penix at quarterback?
Darnell Mooney.
The couple games I watched, it was like Penix was just looking his way a lot and getting him the football quite a bit. So I am definitely interested in Darnell Mooney for fantasy purposes this year.
Yeah, Money Mooney.
Loved him in Chicago. Still love him in Atlanta. He just does the dang thing.
Yep. All right, so moving on over to the defensive side of the ball. I mean, we talked about the young guys a little bit on that they drafted. Leonard Floyd, is he the one that plays great on turf?
He does play well on turf. You know who he really excels against though? Mobile quarterbacks. Like something like a third of his career sacks have come against like Aaron Rodgers back when Aaron Rodgers was was much more mobile. Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, and like Kyler Murray. He eats against those guys.
Yeah, it's good having Bryce Young in the division, and the way Baker moves around over there. So, and then you have Arnold Ebiketie. Yeah. No, another solid edge rusher. I mean, I love what
fine.
Yeah,
he's fine.
I like what they did here. I mean, like I said, I like the James Pierce pick. I like the Jalen Walker pick. I thought Jalen Walker was the best edge rusher in this draft. And then doubling down with James Pierce. I love that. I mean, getting to the quarterback wins you games.
I don't know, man. I think they fucked up. This was the deepest defensive tackle class we have ever seen. They have serious need at defensive tackle, and they didn't take one because they moved up for James Pierce, who, sure, they needed an edge rusher, but you already took Jalen Walker. Like, is Jalen Walker an edge? Is he a linebacker? Are they going to do some Micah Parsons type thing with him? I don't know. But, like, I don't think they were afforded the luxury of using that type of capital twice that early in the draft at the same role, essentially, of a designated pass rusher. Because Pierce is going to be he's a designated pass rusher until proven otherwise. And same with Jalen Walker. Neither of these guys I fully trust to play rushing downs a lot until they show me they can.
Yeah, I mean it's the Falcons. I mean, they've proven that they're going to do what they want to do on draft day.
Yeah. Nothing I liked Ruka Rororo coming out of the draft last year. I think they took him at a fine spot, but he didn't show a lot as a rookie. So now you're sitting here saying we are relying on Ruka Rororo to be a starter for us on the defensive interior. And I'm going with Morgan Fox and David Onyemata is still good, but he's getting older every year, and like Zach Harrison is a converted edge rusher who didn't quite have the burst to play out there. Again, another guy I liked a lot in the draft when they took him, but you always kind of knew he might need to kick inside. And at that point, he's just much more of a pass rusher. I see all pass rushing defensive tackles except for Onyemata, and that's a lot of weight to put on one guy who's getting up there in age.
Yep. Especially when you're in a division with some of the running backs they have here.
And offensive lines. Like Carolina can jam it down your throat.
Absolutely. So I think we're going to see some really, really fun and exciting games for the Atlanta Falcons. But this is a team that could also get hot too. So it's like, how do they navigate that schedule? And can they keep up some momentum if they win 3 or 4 games in a row? Or is it just going to be the same old Falcons that peter out? Just can't get it done.
They have the fourth easiest schedule according to Warren Sharp's analysis. I as long as they can play with a lead, I think they can be a problem because with AJ Terrell, Jessie Bates back there. I mean, I don't love the rest of their defensive backs, but those
D.
two are
Alford's not
really
terrible.
good football players, and they have a bunch of guys who can rush the passer. They
Yeah,
can play from ahead; they'll be fine. It's if
and
they
they
are in
should be able.
neutral situations.
They should be able to control the time of possession with their running backs too.
Yeah.
Whether or not they actually do, I mean, that's another thing we've seen from this team. It's like you would think having a guy like Bijan and Tyler Algier, you would be able to hold on and just be able to run out the football. And I feel like they struggled with that even at times last year.
Yeah, I mean I think some of it last year, frankly, was they didn't pay Kirk Cousins all that money to not throw the football, and that kind of got them in trouble because his shoulders kind of shot, or his elbow or whatever it was. I think that got them in a little trouble late in games with them saying we need to trust our quarterback, but like, should you be trusting your quarterback here? I don't know.
Yeah,
with their O-line, I mean, Jake Matthews, Matt Bergeron, Chris Lindstrom might be the best offensive guard in football. Like this dude he's a monster. And Caleb McGarry is a much better run blocker than pass blocker. So like and I think Matthews is better run blocker than pass blocker. I think Bergeron is probably about equal at both. Like you have a very run blocking centric offensive line here. You're going to have to tote the rock.
Absolutely. So you want to go to some futures?
Yeah, sure. Well, so I just want to talk about their linebackers for a quick second.
Okay.
Because Caden Ellis is probably fairly unknown to non-Falcons fans, but he's just he's a chaos, like Captain Chaos out there, right? Like he can run around with like a chicken with his head cut off and just make wild stuff happen. Really impressive blitzer. And I'm interested to see what Raheem Morris is going to do with Divine Diablo, because Diablo is a guy who, when I watched him with the Raiders, I felt like he's a bit weird of a fit in a lot of defenses, but like his versatility and his length can really play well. He's a really impressive blitzer, can really play well in the box, but like probably not, but more rangy than your typical linebacker. I'm not sure about his coverage instincts, but his general range is, because that length and his athletic traits, is really impressive. But again, I'm not sure he's a guy who holds up that well on running down. So like I come back to that narrative again. How do they play when they're not like well ahead in the game and can control the game script? And these corners, I mean, Mike Hughes is fine. D. Alford's fine. But like, I want more. I wish they had a little more there, because to me, I look at this secondary and I say, if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm just not going to throw at Jessie Bates and AJ Terrell.
Yeah.
Like, I'm throwing at literally everywhere else.
Everywhere else, yeah. No, I agree. So we have a win total set at 7.5, playoffs at plus 136, division at plus 220, Super Bowl at plus 6,060 to 1 there for you. Oh, man. I kind of like the under here, plus 125.
And any of these bets, I'm taking the under 7.5 wins. And that's not because I think the Falcons will win less than 7.5 games, but I think there's a better chance of that happening at plus 125 than the playoffs at plus 136. Like that just, to me, I just see too many flaws in this defensive roster for me to love it. And I don't love Michael Penix having to win shootouts.
I do think they're the clear-cut second best team in this division. I don't think the Panthers can really compete yet. I do think the Panthers are on the rise, and we talk about them here in a minute. But I mean, division at plus 220. I want a little bit more there. If it was closer to that 3-1, I might take it there, just because, especially what we talked about with the Buccaneers and their age and everything. So that would probably be my second option here. Even over the playoffs at plus 136, because basically for the same reason I talked about with the Buccaneers, is like, well, if they're winning the division, they're going over 9.5. I think here, if something does happen with the Buccaneers, you can win this division at 9 games. if for some reason the Buccaneers fall off. So at plus 220, and you go 9-8, it could happen. But they're not making the playoffs if they go 9-8. But I do see a possibility of winning the division at 9-8 and hitting that plus 220. So that would probably be my second option here.
I'm with you. Playoffs plus 136 is a non-starter for me. I just want nothing to do with that. That's too low. Not enough.
Stay away from that.
Like, I look at this roster. If Drake London goes down, they might be fucked.
Yeah.
If Bijan goes down, they'd be fine. But like Chris Lindstrom goes down, I have serious concerns because at that point you're starting like Elijah Wilkinson at guard. I don't like their depth on the O-line really at all. It's a very, like I said at the start, I feel like I'm looking at the pitfalls of a Ryan Pace roster when I see this. It feels a lot like those like 2020, 2021 Bears to me, where it's like very top heavy. They're better than those Bears teams were.
Yeah.
But like they're one linchpin away from something going really wrong. Like AJ Terrell or Jessie Bates goes down, I really don't like where they're sitting. Whereas with the Buccaneers, one guy goes down, like Jamel Dean goes down.
Yeah.
They've got Benjamin Morrison and Jacob Parrish sitting there ready to go. Then like one of the offense, like Tristan Wirfs goes down for the Bucs. I'm just kind of trusting that their coaching staff can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And they have enough talent throughout the rest of the roster to figure it out. Mike Evans goes down. They've got Jalen McMillan sitting right there. I just don't see that type of depth with Atlanta's roster.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I like the under at plus 125. I think I could really see 6 and 11 here.
Yeah, and I mean ultimately, I
10.
I think this is
I think it's an average
probably
football team.
an 8 to 10, maybe. More likely 9 win team. But there's not a good bet at 8 to 9.
Yeah,
on the board.
Exactly.
So the only bet I can take is the plus money on the under 7.5, and just say something might go wrong here.
Yeah, and when you look at the things that could go wrong, there's a lot of them. And so, is Kirk Cousins on this team week 1?
I can't. I have a hard time believing it, but I don't know. That contract, I think, just makes it really hard for them to move him.
Yeah. But I mean, so if he is on the roster, that is probably the one thing that you can point to and be like, you lose the quarterback, and you have at least somebody that can go in there and everything's not going to fall apart. So
yeah, like if Penix goes down, I mean, I do think Kirk Cousins can make the playoffs with this roster. Like even neutered Kirk Cousins, who doesn't have the same arm that he once did. I do think there's something there, and there is. I mean, I don't know. They'd have to eat a bunch of cap still by trading him, but like, I don't know. You're eating that cap one way or the other is kind of the way I see it. Like, I believe they can eat that cap this year. Like, they're structured to be able to do it. Yeah. I have to believe someone will be interested in trading for Kirk Cousins if something goes wrong, someone goes down, or maybe a team just says like we think we're just a quarterback away.
Yep, absolutely.